Sorry, everyone. I left Chris unattended. You can see the results of that. How's everyone doing? Happy Monday. Happy Monday, everyone. How is everyone? Looking down the list here. Hello, Dana, Nancy, Patricia, Deb, Laura, Carol, Nikki, and Luann. Karen, Kathy, George, what's up? Kevin McIntyre, what's up, my man? How's everyone doing? Happy Monday. John McGinnis, how are you? Just want to start with
aloha.
We're going to do a little meditative thing to begin the program here. Yes. Look into the eye.
That's your meditation?
Put it on there. I wanted to see how that looked. And if that doesn't work, what about this?
Can you all see better now?
Real apparition caught on camera.
Oh, is that the meditation brought on the ghost?
Your first step meditation brings on the spirits.
There you go.
Hello, Susan. How are you?
That makes sense.
So, Monday, we got a busy week coming up. So we're going to talk about all that stuff in a minute. But we'll start with Centennial University. That's where we were Saturday night. Good time. Good time. Good people. Good event. First time there this year. And I left crap behind. I literally leave crap behind an apparatus. That is funny. That is funny. Funny how they remember the old jokes. Tracy probably isn't watching, but Tracy referred to, when she was on one of our events with us, instead of an apparition, she referred to it as an apparatus, which was pretty funny.
I'm just happy you're feeling better, Kathy.
But anyway, Centennial University, first time there this year. We actually had two students. One was a senior, one was a freshman that wrote for the school paper, and they were into the paranormal, which was cool. So they were there. We saw some old friends we hadn't seen in
Very long
years. It's been 3-4 years. We saw the German club. They were in the house.
Yeah, they were representing.
Carl was there. Carl's wife, Heather,
and Tracy.
Tracy, and Cheryl and Mike.
Yeah.
The German club were all in the house representing. But it was a good time. Good night. Again, we hadn't been there since last November. We had prepared. Believe it or not, we do prepare. And we look out for people. Chris and I ran to 4 different Dollar Trees and 2 different Walmarts looking for ponchos because we thought it was going to rain the whole night. So we ran around and finally went to the Walmart in Hackettstown and bought 2 10-packs of ponchos. Which we didn't use.
Which is great. So we'll have them for next time. Ponchos. And it's easier than umbrellas because I had umbrellas at the mine and we left them all out on side the thing and they get saturated. But no, we'll have them for next time.
So we did look out for you guys with our ponchos. So we have them for future events. But because I like to do the library. I don't. That's like my favorite place to be in that whole university that we're allowed in. So I didn't want to not go into the library because people claim to see shadow figures. I got EVPs there before, and I always talk about. Are all my glasses in the car? Every single.
Do you need me to get them? I don't know what you're.
I don't know where they are either. I'm gonna look in here.
Well, can I talk about what?
Yeah, you can talk about what.
So yeah, John was saying that he likes to go over to the other building, and we were worried about that because right before we got there, we heard that it was snowing and raining, and we were worried about getting people from by the theater over across the parking lot over to where we had to go. So once we got there and everything worked out, it was cold. I actually got to do the theater, and I think I've only ever done the theater.
It's the little theater.
The little theater. I think I've only ever gotten to do that once before. I don't know if I actually did do the theater.
Hey, Travis.
I can't remember if I ever did that before. But I
don't remember ever being in there.
I don't think I was. I think I did.
You did it with us.
Yeah, but I don't think I've ever been in there by myself doing it. And then, of course, I had Nikki with me. And Nikki, I got to say, Nikki got some really direct responses. Like when she would say, hey, could you shut off the candle? Boom, the candle would go off. Could you light that? It would, like, right on command, it would light up. It was crazy.
Donna Schultz, how are you? Donna Ray, sorry. My eyes have been really bad. They were bad at the event, too. I had a really hard time with the first group. And I actually apologized to them because it, like, literally we started, I'm in the dark, and I started feeling my eye kind of hurt a little bit. And so I made the mistake of rubbing both eyes, and everything just blurred on me. It was just, all I saw was blur, purple, blur red, whatever the color of the domes were. It was just, I'm trying to plug in my cable to my speaker for EVPs, man. And so, I mean, focus. That was, thank God it was a good group with Peter and Patricia and Tamara.
Yeah, they're going to be there to help
Maria, and the good people that we've known for years and years. So they understood, and they were, nice about it. Yeah.
So I have a quick catch.
Other people are like, hey, we paid, jerk. Do something. And then I give them, when they do that, every time someone's mean at an event or they don't behave, I give them the evil eye.
Is that what that is?
Literally.
That's your evil eye.
That's what I give them.
Okay. Looks like the eye that they use on the commercial for red eye. But well, I wanted to ask you, because we haven't really talked about it. This is the first time we're talking about that night. He's way off. You talk about me being like, you know what I mean? But
I need props. I need to change the show up a little bit.
Only for yourself.
Hey, look. That looks on the screen.
I'm cool. Happy for you. So, you've been back in that theater quite often. It's usually you and Tanya that do the little theater. Have you found that the spirits back there respond more to the women than they do to the men?
Well, we talked about this at the quick check.
I didn't.
Which, by the way, the quick check, the guy there this time. I felt bad for him because I think he was new.
But you notice we're getting distracted.
He was slow as molasses, and I waited a half hour for my English muffin, egg and cheese, and my spuds, and they were cold. Yeah. So anyway, you were saying when I was in the theater, what I had gotten there, I had done it several times over the last few years, and um, the very first time I did the little theater, bless you, was with the Girl Scouts, and they had gotten a lot of responses.
I remember
they were
that.
Younger, they were about college-ish age. I got a lot of responses on EVP, and I was surprised. And then the next event I did with, people older, not so much. I mean, I did get EVPs, but I learned that the older men being in the area, there didn't seem to be a good vibe when I put them in the dressing rooms, the one up top and the one down the bottom. I would get response from all the equipment.
How crazy is that?
Yeah.
Because Carl went up to the first room on the top, and see, I didn't know that about those spaces. Carl went up in the first room, and we put equipment, and the equipment was like lighting up, and he said he felt something. And then I said to Nikki, let's change up, change up the energy. Let's change people around and just see if it's just a fluke. We put Carl in a whole different room. Boom. Everything was going off in that room where Carl was. And then it was, I believe, Christina. Christina was in the downstairs room, and everything was interacting and responding to her being there. And we would say, can you go into, and all of a sudden, boom.
Yeah, females get a lot of reactions in that room.
And then Kelly and Kim were by the back door.
Yeah.
And there was everything was boom, boom, the candles. There were little cat balls that I put on these things, and with the dome was going off. And then they were getting responses back and forth where it was saying, help me, and all of this different things. And it was bizarre. And the craziest thing was that I don't know if you guys have ever experienced this before, but the theater doors from the outside are locked.
Yeah, those doors shut, they lock.
Those doors slammed twice, and we caught it on EVPs. We heard it, and then we caught it on EVPs. How is that possible?
They shut, but they didn't lock?
They were shut and locked. But then we hear on recording, because I heard it live, oh my God, did you just hear the door? It was the door out there. It was the theater door being slammed shut, but they were already closed. They were locked.
Oh, wow.
So the only way you could go through those doors was from the inside. And everybody that was in the group was in the back room. It happened twice. And Cheryl heard it live too. Actually, Cheryl looked out the window because she thought a car was right there, and because there's no car there.
Well, again, takes me back to when we investigated the little theater and we caught the figure underneath the stage.
Yeah.
And then we put the balloons on the stage,
and it wound up and it moved the balloons
back
off the
to
stage.
where they were. That was pretty darn cool. So I do think that that females is a different energy. Maybe, like I said, older males. I don't know, male men in general, but
Brandon,
I think
they stayed away from Brandon. Brandon's a young guy. Didn't want nothing to do with Brandon in that back room at all. So, now, I separated people throughout the theater, really separated them out. And we would ask the spirit if they were, and they were just staggered and different. So they were really apart and you couldn't see them.
Yeah.
And we asked the spirits to go over and all of a sudden they would just react to certain people that would be out in the audience on their own. It was definitely a different vibe, different kind of, it's something I've never experienced. Like I didn't know that.
Oh yeah, like I mean, there's definitely energy, and the college students that were there from the paper said that they had heard that the theater had a reputation of being.
Well, it's funny because they definitely got some stuff going on. The other thing is that I know everybody talks about one individual there.
You're nowhere near old. If you're old, then I'm ancient.
You're not old, Travis. And everybody is pretty much connects one individual to that site all the time. and that tends to be in people's brains. And I said, don't focus on one. Let's be generic. Let's ask questions, because if I'm speaking specifically to one spirit, if there's other ones there, I'm closing them out. And a Margaret came forth and said her name told us her name was Margaret. And then we went and we looked on the different listings from the different classes in 1963, and then 1967, there was Margaret. There were two different Margarets.
There's probably way more than two. I mean,
I'm talking about from the list of, and we went back and we used the last, we said, can you say the last name? I used it as, different things to try to bring out to see who could the Margaret. And then we actually got a David in the back in the back too, that said his name was David. And then as soon as that happened, it seemed like that's when a female spirit was basically saying, I'm weak, I'm scared, I'm like whatever. And everybody kind of thought that maybe, oh, you didn't hear about this. When I walked Brandon upstairs to go into that back room. And the walkway up there, I came down, I got halfway, and it was by that first door by the stairs, that room. I got an awful, horrible feeling of nausea, vertigo, and like I was going to pass out. I mean, it hit me like that, real fast and hard. And I just figured, if I just keep moving, it would pass. I got to the stairs, came down 2 steps, had to stop and sit because I was going to pass out. And I literally had to excuse myself. And Nikki did the whole thing, and I went, as soon as I walked out from behind there onto the stage, I was fine. Like somebody clicked the little button and boom, gone. You've ever had that happen in there? Because Kim also said she got nauseous.
Oh, okay. I'm trying to think who Kim is, and then it just dawned on me.
Yeah. So I'm curious if...
No, I never got that back there.
Has anyone else ever gotten that back there?
Not that I remember.
I mean, it was hard. Like, I literally had to sit and not come down the stairs because I thought I was going to fall, like pass out and fall down the stairs. It was so bad.
Just know you had backup. Kenny had backup. Danielle and I are out there on the wire ourselves. So, I mean, we don't have the luxury of, when things start going. My eyes are going, blurring out. What do I do? Right to the front line. Keep going. Keep pushing. Okay? I don't say, hey, tap out for a minute. No.
I stepped out on the stage for 2 minutes and was fine and went right back in. Easy peasy.
Focus is an essential part of the paranormal.
Not when you're going to pass out. Not when you're going to pass out. You can't function. That's how.
No, I did.
That
happened to me one time at the Barron Arts Center where I had a Danielle.
It happened to you at the Hoover House.
Yeah.
The Hoover House, you touched a bad item that you should have touched. But anyways, it was unbelievably, for me, that area definitely did things that I didn't expect.
Well, this is again the theory of different energy in different places. Different people doing different things. I mean, you get different reactions in theory.
Yeah.
I love, again, just like what happened with us at Camp Evans and that area, I like a surprise. And believe it or not, they don't all need to be, crazy, scary surprises, even good surprises. I like every now and then. And this time, for the first time, I had always mapped in this one particular room in the library next to there's a little tiny room that has actually artifacts from the college that dates back years and years and years. They actually have, Tanya was pointing it out, I never even noticed, on the very bottom shelf, there's silverware that survived the fire.
Yeah.
That burned down that building. And that was 100 years ago. And I had mapped in this one room a bigger guy and a small person. The small person never really interacted. The big guy was always the one to come over and go around people. But this time, the little guy showed up, and I believe it was the second group with the 2 people from college. And I'm just like, hey, you know what? maybe if you do this or that, I could find some candy. We could play a game, and we played the game with the equipment. And I had the gums. One of the college students had a piece of gum, so I'm like, all right, I got this piece of gum. I'm gonna give it to you. And out of the app said, I want it. And I said, okay, again, random, maybe. And I said, okay, I know you want it. I'm gonna give it to you. I'm gonna put it right down on the floor. Uh, it said, uh, can I have it? Something like it was like right after. And I said, okay, you can have it. If you tell me I didn't even get the word name out, and it said Joseph. And I said, and everybody in the room stopped. And I said, what are the odds that that sequence of words are going to come out one after the other after the other? And then what I did was I found Smarties. They had candy up in front in the library. I put Smarties by the one dome and a piece of gum by the other. And I'm like, all right, Joseph, if you're here, pick your favorite candy. Which one would you rather have? Whoop, by the Smarties. Like literally when I did it. It was really, really cool. And he was the one. I had gotten some EVPs. I got the name Tilly, but I don't think it was Tilly. I do think people are aware of what happened. I mean, it's the story of the college, tragic event that happened there. Heather, that was your group? Yeah, give it to me. He said, give it to me. And it was like boom, boom, one after the other, after the other. And it was really cool. So I kept trying to converse with him. But like I told you, I try to get as much as I can out of whoever is around, you know? And it was really cool to have somebody different there interacting as opposed to the big guy who at first I'd heard the name Walter in there before, and that's, my dog's name. So this time I said, Walter, are you here? And somebody said Alexander. So I thought maybe Alexander's the big guy. Don't know. But I gotten that stuff there, and in the basement there was some weird stuff going on. I think everything stems from the archive room. We've been in there, actually, you and I.
Yeah.
And there are lots of things, old photo albums.
Including a frame from the fire.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot
Window
of things
frame
in there that I believe someone could be connected to or attached to. And they see Shadow Man down there, the librarian. And I think that's where he comes from and he wanders. But we get there like 2 hours early a lot of times, and I get to kind of do my own kind of experiments. And I have this big box that's a big, powerful microphone. And it's so funny and ironic. You've been in the library. There's the quiet room.
Yeah.
The quiet room isn't quiet because the air and the heat kicks on in there and it's loud. So I couldn't take people into the quiet room to do EVPs because the microphones are so sensitive. So I went in there myself to test every room with the powerful microphone. And I'm just in there pointing it in different directions, and I'm hearing what sounds like shuffling on the carpet. Like I would hear like someone taking their foot and doing that. And then I heard what sounded like a book kind of flip over. And I'm like, huh. And I heard a knock or two, so I went up top. And I'm looking to see if I found any books that were out of place. No. But it would have been great I could shut off the heat everywhere else in that building but that room. And it would have been cool to do that because when we did EVPs in there with the haunted objects, we got to remember when we had the college students there. But I like the library a lot. I'm working on new experiments and new things to do specifically for that building and other buildings. I have things right across from me that I just bought. I'm trying other things with Spirit Box and other things, phonics and stuff to try. So I like expanding and building upon what we have. And I think we need to keep doing that and really just kind of.
Nikki came up with a great idea she was doing. I don't want to say it on here and let other people know, but Nikki come up with a great thing that she was doing. And I kind of think in its own strange way, it also helped to facilitate some of the activity that was happening back there. To be honest with you, like I said, the people who were there know what she did, but I don't want to put it out there.
The goat's
You
blood.
know, that wasn't
No,
goat's
wasn't
blood.
goat's blood.
It wasn't a pentagram. It wasn't any of that.
But
And
that was
that's pretty
Heather
cool,
said
Heather.
when I what?
When she was with Danielle, that she did the method there, and it was so chatty, and they said Tilly win.
So that Heather is Carl's Heather?
No,
Oh,
that's Heather.
which Heather?
Heather and Sean, they come.
Oh,
Sean, her friend, they come. You know Heather.
I can't see. Oh, okay. Now I see the picture. Now I see. I was thinking of Carl's Heather.
No.
Because I was like, wait a minute. Am I getting confused here? Because I wasn't sure what his wife's name was. And then I wasn't sure if I had Heather right. I thought her name was, I almost, with the whole Tracy thing that I did with Alex,
my God.
I almost did that again because I'm like, I don't know why the name Tracy gets stuck in my head. But it, and I don't even know any, the only Tracy I know is,
yeah,
not Tracy, you know,
Tracy.
Jelly Tracy.
I love Tracy.
But I don't know, yet that name is always stuck in my head.
I don't know why. You just have a penchant for calling people wrong names sometimes. But when you get it, you get it.
Yeah, takes some time though, especially with new people. I'll even ask them, and I'll still like, unless it's something like easy.
Well,
to
that's
remember.
just like the two college girls. There was
Samantha.
Samantha, and then I said, so if you're Samantha, you must be Courtney. She goes, no, they put the wrong name on the thing.
So what was the other
one? Caitlin or Kayla, something like that. I think it was Caitlin. So it was Caitlin and Samantha.
So again, it was a good time, and it was good to be back there. Those people at the university, I mean, the security people are awesome.
Yeah.
We get there early, and they open up everything for us, and they make sure all the lights are turned off and everything. And again, the person we work with to set up the events, she's awesome too. But I always leave stuff all the time. And I never leave anything like it. I mean, we have locations that we go to that are like Liberty Hall's 20 minutes, 25 minutes. Yeah. Barron Arts Center, 15, 20 minutes. Caldwell, 20 minutes. I always leave things that are either at the mine,
very far away,
or Smith Cadbury, or in this case, Hackettstown, which are like an hour and a half. So I did leave stuff there, and it's just like, man, you know. I mean, and it's nothing little. It's always like the mine.
Thank you, Heather.
I left that REM pod at the mine for 6-7 months.
Yeah,
and they found
from
it
the
in
last
the
time, and they found it when they were going around,
funny.
And they were just like, it's got to be one of, and it was.
So anyway, it was a good night, and it was good to have, you know, everyone there. You know, Tanya, Kenny were working together in the cathedral. Danielle had a group. Chris had a group. I had a group, and Nikki was there. And Nikki wound up, you know, pitching in, and we all took a picture with the college students. So I did see her posted on her stories on Instagram. So, I mean, hopefully they say good things about us. I think they had a good time.
Well, I'm curious to know because didn't get a chance to really talk to Danielle. You know what happened in her group.
Because so we were waiting for our food forever.
Yeah, I know you are. Never got to talk to her. So I have no idea what kind of interaction they had. Like she works usually where I go. Where I don't know if she went up the upstairs or if she did it right there in that lounge area below there. But she was in those areas.
In that area, Tilly worked in that kitchen.
Yeah.
So that's why.
And I've had some great things happen up there.
You know, I've never really gone up there. I just when we were together.
Yeah, I saw that shadow figure in the office, and I had people in that. You can ask Brian. I had Brian and Taylor do that with that light that you can't shut off. That's right there. I put him right in there, and I put a circle right around and put him in a chair. And boy, Steph was like, we all stepped away, and we asked Steph to come, and everything was going off like crazy around Brian. It's again, it definitely up there reacts to certain people, and EVPs are really good too.
But again, it's a drive for us to get up there, and you know we tell everyone leaving that the deer are everywhere because they are. you know, when you're leaving. And, you know, the thing is, you know, we follow like the same routine. We either go to a diner or like a Wawa or a Quick Check after an event. And again, as it gets darker later, we end later, which means we go to the Wawa later, which means we're not on the road home till 1:30, 2 o'clock in the morning, which means we're not home till 3 and then shower. And it's just like, man,
And
you
it
feel it.
stinks
You feel it
because
the
for
next
us,
day.
where we live, there is no parking where we live except on the street. We have a dead end street, and for some reason now, when we go away and we do events, this whole road gets filled. So we end up pulling up, unloading, and having to park a block or two away and walk back to the house. Which, when you've done the drive and you've done all of that, the last thing you want to do is come home and walk back to your house after unloading.
Yeah,
That's one of the things I
you
hate.
can't leave the equipment in the car in the cold, and nights are still cold, so you got to pull everything out. And if you saw what we brought there, I mean, you see it when it's out. You don't see the car full that we load up before we have to go to every event. I mean, it's cases after cases after cases that
It's worth it though.
we load up here and we bring in the car and then we pack up and
He'll tell
bring
you
it back.
there'll be nights, especially when the weather is not too cold or too hot. I'll say to him, we'll pull in, and I'll look at him and I said, "Can we unload tomorrow?" Because I don't have
Well, that's
any
when the weather's
gas.
warm.
Yeah,
but,
I don't have any gas in the tank.
But anyway, so the other thing that we're doing, you know, again, I keep mentioning the May 3rd event at Camp Evans, which only has the last two spaces available for that event. Um, if you want to come to that, it's May 3rd. John Zaffis, Cody Satori, along with the Haunted Objects. Again, we're working on some new stuff that we're going to try. So, I mean, that'll be stuff that we're doing probably at that event and before whatever is the next one, the Inskeep, maybe? I don't even know. So, probably try it there. We'll probably try it at Camp Evans as well. So, 2 spots. If you want those 2 spots, email New Jersey Paranormal.
Mm-hmm.
You have to spell out New Jersey Paranormal at yahoo.com. Again, me, the entire New Jersey Paranormal gang will be there. It'll be 5 groups, so I'm sure Nikki will be there helping as well. Cody Satori, John will be investigating, as well as meeting and greeting, as well as talking about their haunted objects, and I'm sure a brief lecture. So get those last 2 tickets if you want to come, because after that it is sold out. So 2 spots. That's all that's left. Other than that, this week we're probably going to go to the Creeper Gallery tomorrow night because we have something to do Wednesday and Thursday. So I see her over there, just the fingers are going because she's contemplating. But even if she doesn't go, I'm going to go.
No, I was just thinking about Wednesday.
Why?
Because that's also when I have to go to the GI.
At 8 o'clock at night?
No.
Okay. So.
I was just curious what we're doing at 8 o'clock at night.
And again, we literally just talked about this in the car or on our walk around the park. And this is why I just do everything, because it's one of us needs to be have their eye on the ball, and this one no can do. So
my eyes on the ball.
This one's only good for.
Hey, did that bee light up?
Exactly. Thank you. I just proved it.
What?
Hey, did the bee light up?
Yeah, because it didn't light up before.
Good job.
It lit up that time.
Good job.
But anyways.
Thanks for contributing.
Anyways, I remember now. I just needed a little jingle.
So what? Tomorrow at the Creeper Gallery, probably again we're going to try to start at 7:30. No reason we can't. And it gets dark right around that time.
Yeah.
So probably 7:30 we're going to start. I know there's at least 3 new. I don't know if she brought them in yet, but I saw her posted pictures. So I know there's at least 2 or 3 new objects. I'm curious about the candelabra thing.
Oh yeah, that would
That
be
one
cool,
I want
right?
to do. And I saw she just posted another one too, not long ago. A necklace or something that belonged to someone. So at least there's new objects. So tomorrow night we'll be at the Creeper Gallery starting at 7:30. So it's going to be 3 nights in a row of New Jersey Paranormal. Tomorrow night Creeper Gallery, and then Wednesday night another Creeper Gallery kind of tie-in. Um, we're going to have Donna on, as well as Michelle Wire, who is one of the intuitives, I guess you want to call it, that Donna uses to read the objects. So the premise of the talk or interview or whatever you want to call it is psychometry, which is handling an object and being able to read them, pick up energy from them. That's going to be kind of the overall subject. But Donna will be on with Michelle, and we'll talk to Donna, go over again the Creeper Gallery and briefly, because you guys all know about the Creeper Gallery, and Donna. We'll briefly talk about what we do there, but then the tie-in with Michelle will be just interviewing her, getting her background, talking about how she does, what she picks up. Is there a process? So we'll interview her about all of that and how she became involved with the Creeper Gallery and Donna. And then Michelle actually went to the Creeper Gallery this past Saturday to do an actual demo where she was there with Jay, and I guess she picked a few objects and Jay filmed it, and she's going to send me that video so I'll be able to edit it and we'll show the demo. We'll talk about again what she did, what she got, and
yeah, because we've never seen her do it, so that'd be cool.
No.
I would like to see that.
So I mean that'll be Wednesday. So it'll be cool to do that because we don't really work with Michelle, and I like being independent from mediums because it's just different what we do. So I mean, so I like Donna's process. I always have. When we first met Donna, it was so funny because we went there again for our cable access show to interview her and find out about the shop.
Yeah.
Then we became friends and we interviewed her, and then we met at the time. I think Jeanette was on with us one time. Yeah, Jeanette was on. I love Jeanette. I miss Jeanette. Jeanette had a Scottish accent, and whether she was good at her readings or not, I could listen to that damn accent all day long.
It's evil, John.
It's just
evil.
Shrek. All I could think of was Shrek. The anger, the spirits are angry. You don't want to do it. So, but Jeanette was the person Donna worked with before she worked with us.
We actually watched her doing what
we were invited.
Michelle Wire's going to do.
We were invited because Donna says Jeanette handles the items and does readings, and every once a month or whatever, she would invite people in who believed they had haunted objects, and Jeanette, they would charge $20 or whatever, and Jeanette would read them. So Donna invited us, and Jeanette was sort of intimidated that we were going to be there, but we hit it off with Jeanette. Like I miss Jeanette.
You flustered the lady.
Huh?
You flustered the lady. Oh. That's what you did.
But I mean, every now and then Jeanette will comment on something we do or whatever, but I do miss her. And she was pretty good. I mean, she wasn't dead on 100% of the time, but who is, But I like Jeanette a lot. And Michelle is one that, again, Donna likes Michelle. Donna trusts Michelle. When we do the auction, you'll hear a lot of the times Michelle's readings.
Yeah.
And, but we really, Our thing is just to see, does it mesh with the history? Can we find any information out on our own if there's not a whole lot of information? And Michelle is going to fill in whatever gaps on her end that she does, and people get to see the comparison.
Yep.
You know, when they buy the object or they get the folder or whatever. But Michelle will be on, and we'll go through all that again. You know me, I'm always curious about the methodology of how anybody does anything.
Right.
I don't care what you're doing as far as the paranormal. I'm always curious about the method and mediums, because I'm not one and I don't have that ability. They intrigue me and they frustrate me.
Yeah, but okay, like when you go into the creeper gallery.
What's the what? I can't read that.
When are you guys going to?
I'm not going to see that. No.
Something. Probably to the creeper gallery. Probably tomorrow night. But when you go into the creeper gallery and you're looking at stuff, do you get a feeling sometimes? Like you feel something that's like,
that's psychometry. You're actually,
so
that's why do you think I handle everything?
I know that, but you didn't have that before.
And when I go into a building, sometimes I put my hand on the wall.
Oh no, you don't. Now stop. Listen. But again, you're going to be talking to a person that knows this and
I do. I
goes
can
further.
read the building.
It's funny how you could actually walk in and you can go by the glass or touch something and you get a certain feeling and you turn to me and you go, oh, I've got a feeling about this one. And it seems to have gotten, the more we do this, it seems to be. So do you?
Hey, Marianne.
I'm curious if Michelle can tell you that there's a way that you can develop it and pull more from that.
I mean, we sort of did that with Gloria.
I'm saying Michelle. I want to see if
why wouldn't it be the same process if it's mediumship?
Do you really think that everybody does it all the same way? Just like meditation, everybody meditates the same?
I do.
No. What works for me may not work for you, and vice versa, or for anybody else.
Why are you talking? Talk to them.
I'm telling you.
Be
well, you're the one that's being like.
I don't look at it. I talk to them. I don't.
Oh, Mr. Rivera, you try me.
No professionalism.
You try me.
No professionalism
he
whatsoever.
He tries me all the time.
But no, I mean, I don't. No, I mean, we did the thing with Gloria. Gloria's been doing this for a very, very, very long time. So I'm going to trust the experienced, no offense to any other medium.
I didn't say not to.
I'm going to trust the Judy Kays of the world, the Jane Dohertys of the world, the Glorias of the world, because they have a 40, 50-year portfolio of, you know what I mean, doing this and being known for it.
So do you think you develop it? Or it's something you're born with?
Just like if I was going to juggle axes, I wouldn't go to like the guy that was juggling axes for like 6 months or a year. I would go to the guy who's doing it for 30 to 40 years and be like, okay, show me.
That's a practice art.
Says who? Maybe it takes some kind of talent and intuitiveness.
But what I'm saying is, do you have?
I'm not going to trust this guy.
Do you? See, we can't give it on with John tonight. But do you think that if you have this ability, you're born with it, or do you think you develop it and you learn it?
Some would say it could be both.
Well, that's what I'm asking you.
I'm just saying. Some would say it could be both.
I'm asking you.
I think you're born with it, or you don't have it.
So you don't think that someone could teach you?
I don't think it can be developed at all.
That's all I need to know.
Nope.
Thank you. That was the question.
I think you would have inklings of it if you had it.
I think so too.
And it's not developed.
And I think people think.
But I don't think everybody has it.
And I'm going to tell you, and I've said this before, I think some people who say that they're they have intuitive, they're psychics, they're mediums, whatever. I think they misdiagnose having experiences as that sometimes having an experience is not the same as being a medium or a psychic. And I think people sometimes get that confused. I think that happens a lot. So say like you like what I grew up with, I am not a medium or a psychic at all. Zero abilities whatsoever. But I grew up with it where people would assume that the things that I saw and the things that were happening was because I have an ability, and I do not. They were just experiences for whatever reason. I do think there's a difference.
Well, like I said, I if I were to, the only time I delved into that was with a very experienced medium. You were there. Patricia was there. Other people were there.
Right.
Otherwise, I wouldn't have done it.
I know you wouldn't have.
Because I would have been like, the first sign of any kind of hokey hooiness, I would have been like, what am I doing here? I'm just wasting my day, But I went in with a completely open mind, and I was intrigued. I will say that because there were certain exercises we did. I wish we would have done more of them, where I did feel like people were picking up on things that then there were 20 people there, maybe more, right? And people were kind of,
it was pretty cool.
But it wasn't a fire, it was a spark.
Yeah.
And okay, maybe that spark can
unfortunately,
but in everyone
we got teamed off with people. There's one other person, so we got into pairs of two, and this one ends up in the room that I'm in with someone else. And he was supposed to do with his partner with the.
I'm a very competitive person.
And oh my God, are you ever? And then I'm supposed to be, and he would interrupt and go, "Hey, I think I'm getting something from you guys. I think this is pertaining." Because I'm just like, "Oh my God, look, you're not supposed to."
The worst thing you could do to me is tell me, because what happened was, again, she's teaching you how to do these exercises, and what I understood was the basic premise is what everybody talks about. The ones who always talk about meditation, how you need to shut off the part of your brain that's the hamster wheel. You know what I mean? And that's where the stuff comes.
You have 10 hamster wheels.
But that's where the stuff comes from. The non-busy, unoccupied mind.
Yes.
So when I did that, and she was just going through the exercises, and she was having us list 10 things that you were supposed to ask the person next to you, and she would be like, try to get a name. And literally what I did when she was doing that, I closed my eyes and I went blank, and I just listened to what was in my head. Like a name came, and I wrote it down. And she was explaining it, and I wrote one thing down, and I got 3 that were associated with the 20 people that could have been associated with, whether it was loosely or otherwise. And I was like, holy crap, man, I'm pretty good at this. So
3 out of 10? Is that what you said? You got 3 out of 10?
I got 3, but there was 20 people. So I took it as I could tap into, maybe it ain't going to be you.
Right.
But I, using my newfound powers, it's like a net. I'm fishing the whole room. I'm not just fishing right next to me.
But you were supposed
I'm casting my line, baby. I'm not just dropping it right down there.
You wanted to even your odds? Is that what you're trying to say?
I thought with this newfound power of mine that I wasn't just going to limit myself to Brianna, who was next to me. I'm like writing down again, whatever's coming.
New title. Paranormal Savior Psychic.
And what happened was I didn't get one from Brianna, not one.
No.
I get one thing right.
Well, she's a hard.
But she was honest. But she did pick up on some stuff from me. She did very, very well. But that's because, again, I was casting way out. I should have brought my. I should have just dropped my line in right in front of me, but I took a big old again. So it probably did pertain to others, but
in theory, when you did what you did with the group, and then you were supposed to be singled with one person, you were supposed to be tapping into that person's energy and nobody else's. You failed, sir. You failed. No powers there.
No, my powers are very. I have to learn to control them. You ever see X-Men? Cyclops, when Cyclops took off the glasses, that beam went everywhere. He couldn't control it. That's why he wore the glasses.
You
That's
also
kinda
feel really
my-
bad for me.
My
This is
mediumship
nonstop.
abilities are like that. Once I opened that door, it's like I was probably picking up on a guy two towns over. I have to.
I think they can pick up on you 2
I have
times
to
over.
keep it in and not use that ability. But I love the concept of.
Oh, what she did and how she had to do it was amazing.
No, but I love the concept of just the I don't know how else to describe it, but just the empty mind. You want to call it meditative or not. I love the idea of just entering a space, taking a breath, letting your mind go blank, and then listening to that voice in there, whatever is there.
So how come you can't try
It
scrying
could
with
be
me?
it could be Shu. You know what I mean? But why is Shu popping into
But
your
if that
head at that
fascinates you,
moment?
if that fascinates you, and that the scrying is on the same level, see? But it is the same
I'm
level.
not talking about using mirrors and stuff
It's
like
not
that.
just
I'm talking
mirrors.
about,
There's more to it.
and it wasn't
More to
even
it.
scratching the surface. She's very good. I know, I
Oh,
believe
she
it.
is very good.
I like Gloria.
We've
a
known
lot.
her for a long time, and we actually went to something years ago that she did, that she invited us to as well. And
But imagine, Patricia, with my powers, what I just explained, if I tried more, oh my God, forget it. Just imagine that you would all see this. That's what I see.
that's okay, Patricia. Some people can't, and that's not a bad thing. It's not that you're doing anything wrong, or it's just not for you, for whatever. Not everybody's for it, and that's it's all about what works for you. And if tapping in with what Gloria teaches you and how to do it, that's wonderful. It's perfect. That works. That's what it does for you.
I don't know. I as I get older, I am my curiosity in the.
You're more open to things as you got
Yeah,
older.
yeah. It intrigues me so much. I tried. I should have been Tracy. I could have read you in a heartbeat, Tracy. I was just talking about. See, I channeled Tracy. Wasn't I just talking about her? Tracy, I was 15 minutes ago. Go back and watch this. I was literally talking about how you're the only Tracy that I know. Yet, when I don't know a person's name,
It's
for
your name
whatever
that
reason,
always comes out.
Tracy. I'm just like, is that Tracy? That her name is Tracy, right? But it's like that's such a weird name.
There was a Tracy there that night, though.
Was it?
Yes.
Oh no, that was the German Club Tracy.
Yes.
But I thought.
You thought Heather was Tracy.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So, anyway. But like I said, it does intrigue me. I wish there was a way, and maybe I should talk to Gloria about this. And that's probably a good idea. Maybe we should have Gloria back on.
Yes, we should.
And I should really try to figure out how to hone in on this for what we do.
I agree.
And control this caged. I mean, we already found out about my aura. That was no shock. That I had white aura.
And
all
your
around
chakra.
me. My chakra khandra. It was superior to yours. I knew it was, but you think otherwise.
Everything you have is superior to me.
I didn't say. But anyway, I am. I'm going to reach out to Gloria tonight because now I am really, really intrigued. Maybe there's tips and pointers that she could capsulate
But
for us. I don't want to have to go through 10 weeks of classes.
John, you just read.
I want the Cliff Notes.
Yeah, but I know you. But do you just realize, and you hit it on the head. You talked about the hamster wheel, and we all know you have 10 hamster wheels in your head that are going nonstop. So even when you shut down one, all the other ones are still rolling because that's just how your brain works. The fact that you were able to do that on what she demonstrated and showed you at her session, Gloria, and you were able to shut that off to actually get something.
Patricia. Sorry, it was just right. Gloria doesn't get around so great. I thought.
I don't know.
Or am I thinking of
You're thinking
Nancy
of
Weber.
Nancy
Yeah,
Weber.
yeah. That's one.
Did you even hear what I said to you?
No.
Of course not.
No.
This is why I don't talk.
I couldn't do that class. Says the person who couldn't remember what we're doing on Wednesday.
I literally.
What are we doing on Thursday?
Saying, no, stop.
What are we doing Thursday?
We're going to the school. So, anyways.
I didn't think she'd remember.
No, you didn't. So here's the thing: if she could get you to shut off long enough where you could actually do what you did, and what popped into your head popped into your head. There are things, see, where some things don't work for you. Obviously, something that could, and if you developed it more, maybe that would be the thing that would help you a lot more doing what you do.
Well, I have a homework assignment for everyone out there.
I'm not doing any
to
more
do
homework.
this, okay? Because I did it, and every time I do it, something happens, and it doesn't work for everyone because we've tried this before. And I don't know if Tanya did it this time, but she did it the last time. White noise.
Oh yeah.
If I were to go now, and my headphones are right over there, if I were to take my headphones and I would put them in my ears, and I would go on YouTube and just find an hour's worth of just white noise and play it and close my eyes, and it almost is meditative where I'm not thinking of anything but the noise. I'm not even concentrating on the noise. When I have to have MRIs every year, and believe it or not, I get an MRI of my brain and my entire spine. I'm in that tube for 3 hours. She'll tell you, 3 hours I'm laying still in that MRI tube. And when I'm in that tube, my mind just wanders. It's hard to explain. I'm not sleeping. I'm kind of half in and half out, but my mind is just, I'm not thinking about being in a tube. I'm not thinking about being claustrophobic. My mind is just out there wandering. And I do the same thing with the white noise where it's like I have to fall asleep with the TV on. And the way I do that is basically I shut my eyes and I let my mind wander while I'm listening to the TV, but it's not high enough for me to hear everything that's being said on the TV. It's just background noise. And that puts me out. With the white noise, I do the same thing. I put it on and I let my mind just wander. And every single time I will hear voices in my head.
No, you will.
And I get scared because it's almost like, am I mental? Are those voices
because
in there?
Many years ago, and people who went to a location, I set up this whole table where everybody was connected into white noise. I'd have 6 people at a time
I did it first.
Well, whatever. With a pad of paper, and I would have them write whatever that they heard to see if anything came out, or if they all. Will you stop and listen for a second, and just like if anybody got the same thing or if they were hearing, and all of them kept saying the same thing. They kept that there were conversations that started to build in the background. They would hear, then they start being able to tell if it was a male or a female. And then sometimes a voice would, like something would come closer and say something that was pertaining to them.
That's a great idea. It was. I literally, this was an experiment. This is nothing new. People have been doing this forever. And I had heard about it, and I still remember the day like it was yesterday. We're going years ago. I mean, 6, 7, maybe more.
More longer than that.
Yeah, it was back when we were at the Ukraine, even back then.
Yeah, it's a long time.
I wanted to try it, and I didn't even put headphones on. I was in my car. I was waiting for my son. My son had to go to like an orientation or something, and he was going to be in there for like an hour or whatever. And I'm watching all these YouTube videos about paranormal experiments, and I saw that one, and I said, hey, you know what? I find the YouTube video, I turn it up in my car, and I close my eyes, and I'm listening, and within 30 seconds, a voice inside my head said, do you hear me? And I popped right up. I turned it down, and I was like, whoa.
He called me.
I was shocked. That is exactly what the voice said. do you hear me? And I heard it as clear as day, and it wasn't my voice. And I said, wow, this, and then I did it on my own with headphones. I could do it right now, and it would happen. That stuff makes me
That scares you.
kind of nervous. Yeah.
Because you call me up really upset about it.
I don't know what I'm tapping into. That makes me nervous. Because that's almost like channeling. And almost.
But that's a voice in your ear, and with something that like comes up and touches you, or that doesn't freak you out.
Because that's in my head. There's somebody.
Oh, in your
messing
head.
around, yeah, in there. That freaks me out. It does, but that scares me, and it does scare me when I do it because I'm always wondering. Like again, we talk about spirit communication in any sense, whether people are using a Ouija board, whether they're lighting a candle and watching the thing flicker or blow either way, whether they're doing tarot cards, whether they're doing spirit box, whether they're doing scrying, we're all doing the same thing.
Yep.
We're all trying to open up a line of communication to the spirit world. However it is you're trying to do it, pendulum, whatever. And to do it that way in particular and hear stuff is a lot more scary, I guess, to me, because now ST method's a little different because again, radio frequencies, but when there's nothing there, there's not a chance that it's radio bleed through. It's white noise, and you're hearing stuff that freaks me out. But I like it, but it freaks me out.
If you like it.
And
you are
again, I don't want to kind of announce anything here, but there may be something there too. I like I said, I know Tanya's doing stuff, but I'd like to try a little something.
Well, she brought it back, and that was a good idea.
Maybe at the Creeper Gallery, try that tomorrow night. See what you get, both ST and then just white noise.
Okay.
That may freak you out. That'll freak me out. Holding the object and trying it.
As long as it's not a dark object.
Oh, there's one.
Well, you can do the one.
Let me try that one. That may be something.
All right.
We're trying. But anyway.
Good.
So like tomorrow night, 9:02. Tomorrow night will be Creeper Gallery, where we may try this thing. And again, people can watch it. Here's the bad thing about that thing is that ST method's bad enough because people have they're under the headphones. You have no idea what's coming through that radio. I mean, I would watch certain shows where they would do it, and I'm like, seems to me they're kind of tailoring it around whatever. So you don't really know unless you're hearing what they're hearing, right, which is tricky. White noise makes it even worse because now you know there are no words coming from any box whatsoever. You're solely relying on the honesty of
the person doing the experiment.
And I promise you, 100%, I will be completely honest with what I'm hearing if I hear anything. And I might not.
Right.
So I'm going to try tomorrow.
All right.
All right, guys. Tomorrow night, 7:30, Creeper Gallery. Wednesday night, we will be with Donna and Michelle Wire talking about psychometry, which is doing readings from objects by handling them. And Thursday night, you won't see it, but we're going to the high school, Woodbridge High School. We have a new Ouija board room. This guy's part of the Talking Board Society, been doing it for years. He's going to design his own Ouija board room exhibit for the expo. So he's going to come, take measurements, and get a good idea of what he could do with that whole space. It'll be a new room that we have this year.
That's going to be amazing.
And this guy's been doing this forever. If you look up the world's largest Ouija board, he was part of the team that went to Salem, and they designed a huge outdoor Ouija board with the world's largest planchette. This guy was part of it, Rick. So see you tomorrow, 7:30.
Have a good night. Stay safe, stay healthy, and remember to be kind to each other.
And remember.
Good night, everybody. Keep your eye on the ball.
We're always watching.
Good night.